Good morning students. Today we will start lesson number 11 Landforms of SST Standard 6. So let's start the chapter Landforms. Landforms are natural geographical or physical features on the earth's surface. They are of different types on the basis of their formation and structure. Landforms get affected by nature in terms of torrential rains, volcanic eruptions, and strong winds, and such other phenomena. The rock's solid out part of the earth comprising of the crust and the uppermost part of the inner layer of the earth is called the lithosphere. This form the land pieces on which the terrestrial, that is living world survives and sustains the plants and animals live on this part of the earth. The living world consisting of plants and animals is called the biosphere. The water bodies on the earth's surface is like ocean, sea, river, pond and lake. On earth comprise the hydrosphere. The envelope of air around the earth is called atmosphere. It is the layer where all weather phenomena take place. Landforms largely include mountain, plain, coastal plain, desert and island. Additionally, there are few landforms where water and land are in close association, such as peninsula, sea, bay, strait, isthmus, river, delta and estuary. The various landforms on earth. Let us study the different landforms on earth, namely mountains, plateaus, deserts, islands, peninsulas, seas, bays, straits, isthmus, rivers, lakes and ponds. Mountains. Mountains are highlands segmented with passes and valleys formed through different geological processes. On the basis of their formation, mountains are of three types. So let's see the type. Fold mountains, volcanic mountain and block mountain. Actually there are four types. The fourth one is residual mountain. Fold mountains are formed as a result of the collision of two large land masses. The upper part of the earth's crust fold in layers, thereby forming mountain belts. The Himalayas are also very good example of fold mountains. In India, we also see such mountains in between the Vindhyas and Satpuras ranges in India. The Himalayan ranges are still growing today and are the youngest fold mountains. The Himalayan ranges have mountains in three tiers of different heights. The Greater Himalayas or Himadri. These are the ones in the extreme north and have the tallest peaks. The average height of this mountain ranges is 6,000 meters. the lesser Himalayas or Himachal. The average height of this range is 4,000 meters. The outer Himalayas or Shivaliks. These are the shortest in height of all the three. The average height of this range is 1500 to 2000 meters. Now see volcanic mountains. Volcanic mountains are formed due to the heat generated by internal activities inside the earth. The heat generated by these internal activities is so strong that at some places it gets open the earth's crust, resulting in eruption. You can see in this picture. Now see, gases, ash, molten lava or magma are released on Earth's surface. On cooling, cooled ash and lava settle, thereby raising the landform, creating volcanic mountains. Mountain Tokachi in Japan is a volcanic mountain which is 877 meters high. In the same way, the volcanic mountain Mount Etna, Italy, is 3,329 meters high. Now block mountains. Like volcanic mountains, block mountains too are the result of geological activity going on inside the earth. When the earth's crust cracks up due to such activities, the land in between rises up, thus forming block mountains formed. Fourth type of mountain is residual mountain. Residual mountain are formed from the residue which withstand against the natural force of erosion. Residue means जो रिमाइंडर बाकी बचता है वो withstand against the natural force of erosion. जो भी इरोजन का फोर्स है नेचुरली उसके अगेंस्ट जाके जो भी रिमेन्स बचता है उसमें से जो माउंटेन क्रिएट होंगे दे आर कॉल्ड रेसिडुअल माउंटेन. Soft rocks are eroded and swept away since thousands of years, and the soil formed from solid rock sustained as a highland. It is only called residual mountain. जो भी soft rocks होंगे वो पानी के साथ चले जाएंगे and swept away. What happened that continuously water flows on them, and after thousands of years soil will form and then solid rocks sustain a highland. जो soft rocks हैं वो melt हो जाएंगे but जो solid rocks हैं वो highland create करेंगे. So that is called residual mountain. For example, Aravalli, Nilgiri, Parasnal, Rajmahal and Eastern Ghat are the example of residual mountain. In short, you have to remember जो soft rocks हैं वो melt होके soil बन जाएंगे but solid rocks है it will create a form of mountain. So they are called residual mountain. Importance of mountain. Mountains serve the purpose of a borderline and a wall of any country or a region and protect us from cold waves which help in bringing more rains by stopping moist winds. They serve as a purpose of a border. Sometimes what happens, for example, if you are taking the example of Himalaya, so it is in the north part of India, so it will create the border from China and Nepal. So they protect and create the borderline. Even they protect from the cold wave. If you look at the map of India, so there we have mountain range of Himalayas and upside we have China and upside Russia also. रशिया के साइबेरिया में से जो भी कोल्ड विंड आते हैं इट विल स्टॉप बाय हिमालयन माउंटेन सो दे प्रोटेक्ट अस फ्रॉम द कोल्ड वेव्स इवन स्टॉप द मॉइस्ट विंड एंड इट विल ब्रिंग मोर रेन. So mountains are place of origin of rivers. So from mountains even the rivers are generated or originated, means rivers start from there. Fertile plains are constructed by the rivers flowing through them. रिवर अपने साथ जो भी एल्यूवियल है वो फॉर्म करके लाएंगी एंड at the flat surface it will create plains. So with the help of that the fertile plains are constructed. River flowing from the heavy rainfall region, snow covered region work as a water storage which is necessary for generation of hydroelectricity. जहाँ पे हैवी रेनफॉल वाले रीजन है या तो स्नो कवर्ड रीजन है सो कंटिन्यूसली थ्रू आउट 12 months 24 hours we can say they have the water, and with the help of that we can generate hydroelectricity. Hydro means water, so water से जो electricity generate होगी उसे hydroelectricity कहते हैं. For example, जो भी river है वहाँ का पानी एक रिजर्वियर बनकर उसके ऊपर डैम बनाया जाता है एंड वहाँ डैम के नीचे जनरेटर रख के उसमें से हाइड्रोइलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट होती है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस दे आर द repository ऑफ फॉरेस्ट रिसोर्सेज, मिनरल रिसोर्सेज एंड वाइल्ड लाइफ. If mountains are there, so definitely we can get the forest area over there, and because of the forest we get the forest resources, even mineral resources, and even wildlife, means animals and birds stay over there. So it is very useful, means we can say mountains are very useful to us. Mountains are blessings for tourism industry, film, cinema industry, and mountaineers. Means whenever the mountain areas are there, so the tourism means जो घूमने लायक जगह है वो क्रिएट होगी, सिनेमा की शूटिंग भी इजीली होगी इफ़ माउंटेन्स आर देयर. एंड माउंटेनियर्स मीन्स जो माउंटेन पे चढ़ने वाले हैं उन लोगों के लिए तो माउंटेन्स एक ब्लेसिंग्स है. दे आर द हैबिटेट फॉर द 10th part of the world's population. As far as total world population is concerned, so the mountains are at 10th part. Mexico and Bogota are the best examples of it. Now let's know some extra information that developed cities, countries and कौन सी height के ऊपर हैं वो. So Mexico is a developed city. Country's name is Mexico. Height is 2,300 meters. Quito, Ecuador, 2,386 meters. Bogota, Colombia, 2,625 meters. Leh, India, 3,500 meters. Lhasa, Tibet, China, 3,520 meters. Sixth is La Paz, Bolivia, 3,640 meters. Topic is valleys. These are low-lying areas in high or mountain ranges. Valleys are low area of land between hills or mountains, typically with a river or stream flowing through it. Rivers flowing through mountains makes valley fertile. You can see the most beautiful and scenic flora in valleys. Next is pass. A pass is a low passage or route to cross mountain ranges. The passes are formed from gaps between mountain ranges. Mountain passes have also been of prime importance in the history of any land. This pass helped people to come from across the mountain. The Khyber Pass is at 1,070 meters, that is 3,510 feet, is in between Pakistan and Afghanistan. The Khardungla is at 5,359 meters, that is 17,582 feet, is in India. The Marsimik La are 5,681.5 meters, that is 18,340 feet, is a lesser known pass. It is one of the world's highest motorable passes and lies in India on the northernmost of Changthang Plateau near the Chinese border. Next is plateau. A plateau is a flat, elevated landform that rises sharply above the surrounding area on at least one side. The plateaus are formed by different geological activities such as volcanic activities, internal warming up of the earth, erosion. In areas of frequent volcanic activities, the magma or lava cooling over the landform. This continues for many years, and sometimes plateaus are also formed. Such plateaus have typically raised and flat surfaces with sharply edged valleys. The Indian Deccan Plateau and Columbian Plateau in the northwestern United States are formed by such activities. There is a lot of internal activity going on inside the earth. This results in subsequent heating of the upper layers of the earth and ends up in the uplifting or elevation of the land, thereby forming a peculiarly flat plateau such as the Colorado Plateau. Erosion and river water influence the shape of a plateau. The rivers flowing in the valleys erode the mountains and also raise the landform by deposition of the sediments carried by them. The surfaces of these plateaus are defined by flat and broad valleys surrounded by eroded hills. The Columbia Plateau was formed by volcanic eruptions and subsequently reshaped by erosion. It is located between the Cascade and Rocky Mountains in the northwestern United States, is cut through by the Columbia River. The largest plateau in the world is the Tibetan Plateau, located in Central Asia. It stretches through the countries of Tibet, China, and India and occupies an area of 2.5 million square kilometers. Next is Indian Peninsular Plateau. This plateau can be generally classified into the Central Highlands and Deccan Plateaus. The Satpura Ranges separate two plateaus, the Deccan Plateau being in south. The Central Highland in the west is called Malwa Plateau and in the east it is called the Chota Nagpur Plateau. The plateaus are very rich in mineral content. The Deccan Plateau extends to 8 states of India and has a mean height of 600 meters. The eastern side of the plateau has the altitude, that is lower altitude. Now plains. Plains are vast open lands. They may have gentle slopes but are otherwise flat and grassy. Plains can be of two types, inland plains and coastal plains. Open grasslands and forests mostly appear in inland plains. Coastal plains bound by water on one side and hills on the other side. This sandy plain forms beautiful picnic spots. In India, the Indo-Gangetic Plain is a vast, flat, very fertile land formed by the drainage system of two major rivers, the Indus and the Ganga. It is one of the most densely populated areas in the world. Next is deserts. Deserts are barren land areas receiving poor or no rainfall at all. The dry climate and extreme weather makes life difficult and challenging. Deserts can be sandy desert, stony desert or rocky deserts depending on kind of barren present. Now see sandy deserts. The Sahara Desert in Africa and The Thar Desert in India are sandy deserts. Next is stony deserts. The Australian Northern Territories, Kalahari in Africa, and the Upper Atacama Desert, Chile, are examples of stony deserts. Now, rocky deserts. Negev deserts in southern Israel is a rocky desert. Atacama Desert in Chile, South America is the driest place in the world. Now see peninsula. A peninsula is a landform surrounded by water bodies on three sides and is connected to the mainland. Sea. Seas are water bodies found at the margin of an ocean and partially bound by land. The Arabian Sea is enclosed between the Arabian Peninsula in the west and the Indian Peninsula on the east. Now, island. Islands are landforms surrounded on all sides by water. Islands are generally small landforms. A group of isles is called an archipelago. Hawaiian Isles in the North Pacific and Lakshadweep in Arabian Sea in India are examples of archipelago. Bermuda Isles, a British territory, has 181 islands. Bays, straits, and isthmuses are landforms where the position of the sea and land is considered with respect to each other. Now see bay. A bay is formed when a water body surrounded by land on three sides. The Bay of Bengal in India is an ideal example. Next is strait. A strait can be defined as a naturally formed waterway connecting two large and navigable water bodies. The Pak Strait is the inlet of the Bay of Bengal between southeastern India and northern Sri Lanka. It is bounded on the south by Pamban Island in India. The Strait of Gibraltar is the only link between the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. Next is isthmus. An isthmus is a narrow strip of land that connects two land masses, usually with water on either side. The Isthmus of Panama connects North America and South America. Another well-known isthmus is the Suez Isthmus, which connects the continents of Africa and Asia. Many a time, canals are built across isthmus to facilitate marine transport. Suez Canal is a very good example of a man-made canal across the Suez Isthmus. Next topic is rivers. Rivers forms the inland fresh water system. They are formed either by melting of ice or through rains. These are natural sources of fresh water that flows into seas and oceans. The Amazon River in South America runs across Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, Brazil, and Bolivia. This has been covered with the Amazonian rainforest, which extends up to 55 lakh square kilometers of area. The Indo-Gangetic Plain is another example of many rivers forming a flat plain. The Amazon rainforest produces huge amounts of oxygen by absorbing gigantic amounts of carbon dioxide. It functions like a giant air machine and is therefore also referred to as the lungs of the earth. Next is lakes. Lakes are water bodies surrounded by land. These are relatively still water bodies that are fed by the rivers and streams. Canada has about 31,752 lakes larger than 3 square kilometers and 1.2 square miles. Koleru Lake is the largest freshwater lake in India, which is located in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Finland is called the land of thousand lakes. The world's deepest lake is the Lake Baikal in Russia. Cholamu Lake of North Sikkim is the highest lake of India, situated a few kilometers away from China border. It is situated at 18,000 feet near the origin of the river Tisza. Next is ponds. Ponds are water bodies smaller than lakes and fed by rains. When rivers carrying fresh water meet seas or ocean, it forms two landforms, deltas and estuaries. Delta. Delta is a triangular low-lying plain or landform at the mouth of the rivers where the main stream splits into several distributaries. This is formed due to settlings of sediments collected on the course of its journey down the mountains and plains. Now see, life on land is dependent on the water bodies near it, while seas and oceans determine the life in coastal areas. Other water bodies such as river, lake, pond affect the life of people living in plateaus, plain and inland landforms.